Uncleanliness goes beyond animals, food, and spirits, as it affects humankind as well. Being unequally yoked does not allow the two to perform the task against them, because they're constantly at odds versus trying to work together. In the Old Testament, one was considered unclean from touching a dead person, when in fact the moral thereof is life and death trying to coincide with each other for an eternity. That's not possible. In the Old Testament, you find a lady with the issue of blood who was pretty much looked upon as pollution. There's an ample amount of unfitting marriages and improper relationships. Marriage, sex, and family ought to be done in decency and in order. Otherwise, all hell will break loose as they suffer tremendously. For instance, it's going to be a challenge trying to raise your family, your children, one way when the other one has a different set of rules or a different doctrine and teaching whereby they're trying to instill and impart in their child. Can you imagine that child will be confused and will not know which way to go? That's why the Bible says to train up your child in the way that he shall go, so that he does not depart. If you go to the book of Ezra, chapter 10 and 2, it reads, "We have trespassed against our God, and we have taken pagan wives from the people and their land." And in order for them to get back in right standing with God, they had to sacrifice a ram, and they had to swear an oath unto God in regards to them separating from amongst the pagans. You see, pagans worship other gods. They fed and served idols and what have you. And if you go into the book of 2 Corinthians, which I'm going to read, verse 14, it says, "Do not be unequally yoked together with unbelievers." Right there, I want to take it a step deeper. I believe that God isn't just talking for believers and unbelievers not to be unequally yoked, because believers can be unequally yoked with another believer simply because they're not on the same spiritual page. But again, he said, do not be unequally yoked with unbelievers. So it's very important for a Christian not to go out and engage with someone that isn't a believer. Engage with someone that isn't committed unto God. They should not commit themselves into a relationship or even marry one that is not walking on that same spiritual path. So if one is serving Jehovah and the other one serving Buddha, the two will not be able to live together. And it says, "For what fellowship has righteousness with lawlessness? Righteousness and lawlessness do not go together. And what communion has light with darkness? Light and darkness cannot commune together. They cannot converse together. There's always going to be some form of an argument or something. And when we step out of the will of God, we open up doors for destruction and other issues to come in and swallow us up. And if you go to verse 17 in 2 Corinthians 6, it says, "Come out from among them and separate, says the Lord. Do not touch what is unclean, and I will receive you." Because you see, oftentimes God has said in his word, when you touch what is unholy, you shall become unholy. When you touch something that's unclean, you will be unclean. Basically, you will be corrupt. So God is saying, come out from among them. You have no place of communing with someone that is not a believer. Until next time, my brothers and sisters, be blessed.